Hi, this is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. This is Tristan. He's a Corgi. He's wearing a crown and a tie because on this episode of Conversations with a Corgi, we are going to have a little pause out to the king, well, not the king, the Queen of England and Prince Philip, what is his name? Philip, the horse guy, who have been together 70 years. Yay! Happy anniversary to them for yesterday. So Tristan's wearing his crown to celebrate, being a Corgi, his fondness for the Queen and her 70th anniversary. So, hooray for her. Amazing, amazing leadership that woman has shown in her lifetime. It's just incredible. And of course, someone as smart as she is would pick a Corgi to be her companion. Of course, she has Labradors and other dogs as well, so not just about the Corgi. Anyway, today I wanted to have a few minutes to share with you some of the things that have been going on. I haven't been able to do a show since I think last week sometime because I had a business meeting on Thursday morning, and then I was in New York City. I did do one live from the Equus Film Festival there, and then I came right back here to my job as an educator on Monday and Tuesday, and now it's Wednesday, and I'm supposed to be driving to New Jersey for Thanksgiving right now, but I had to check in with everyone and also update you on something. So my cards are almost done. They're at the designer. We're still working out some of the kinks with the box design. Of course, being in my state, choosing between purple and blue is always a problem. Blue, purple. Is there something in between? Periwinkle. So getting the color on the box and the back of the cards just right is a bit of a challenge because a lot of these professional colors don't always come out the same, and some of my book covers, in fact, are a little more blue and some are a little more purple than others. So hopefully you got a color you like on my book. So those cards will be out sometime between now and the December 10th or so. I think we'll be able to get them going pretty much, but over the holiday it's always a little difficult because my sister has really sketchy Wi-Fi down there. The phone works, but not the computer. My niece will be there. She's a bit of a computer expert. Maybe she can get the computer to talk to my mom's modem, but I mean, even with two experts on the phone last time and resetting the modem, we could not get it to work, and my mother was having a nervous breakdown for fear that I break her computer turning off the modem. Anyway, so hopefully I'll be able to do some recorded lives there. I want to interview my mom because she's pretty interesting. Hi, yes, I hope I have a great Thanksgiving. You too, Joyce. And I'd love to do a Facebook Live with the minis because they're so cute. And I was thinking this morning, I think they don't have Wi-Fi anywhere near their barn, but the minis, of course, have been in the house many times. So I think I can get a little lucky up into the kitchen or just on the living room and have a little conversations with a Corgi with a pony, a mini. So today I wanted to let people know about what you can do with your dog for Thanksgiving. Of course, we want to include them in the festivities, and at my sister's house, I don't know, I can't even count how many animals we'll have in the house, but my niece is bringing her dog, her boyfriend's dog, a kitten. I'm bringing my dog, so that's 4 extra right there, and I think they have 8 or 9 already living there of dogs, and then several cats, and then 8 chickens or so, and 2 minis. So we're going to have a crowd of animals there in New Jersey, and make sure if you're bringing your dog to someone's house, especially if you haven't been there very much. For instance, one year I was invited to a friend's house here for Thanksgiving, and I used to have to work on all these holidays in the hospital trade. It's terrible. So she invited me up, and I knew that she was having a lot of relatives over, even though my dog had been there many times, was safe with her dog and her cats. But I kept him on a leash as a courtesy for the first few minutes we were there, just so he could meet the people, get familiar with the new environment, with all the food smells. Dogs don't always act the same way they always have in the past. So make sure you keep your dog on a leash and just keep really close track of him when you first arrive in particular, so that he's acclimated to the situation. It's, and sometimes there's a coffee table with cheese on it. If you've got a bigger dog like a Labrador, you really don't want to let him get into any of the foods that will be around. And that gets to the next topic, which is what do you feed your dog from your Thanksgiving table? And boy, my sister years ago, she made a lot of money working over the holidays in the emergency vet clinic for 25, 36, 48-hour shifts. and it was a great boon to pay off those giant vet school bills, which are even more huge these days for students. But it meant that she was also really busy because over the holidays, so many dogs and cats, but dogs in particular, get pancreatitis from eating stuff that they shouldn't eat, that their people don't normally feed them. Now, I am not an advocate for not giving your dog people food. Lots of people food, healthy people food, is great for your dogs, and we should eat as well as most of our dogs do. My dog has an excellent diet. He eats raw food mixed in with turkey that I get for him, and occasionally I get him raw duck. Sometimes he gets raw bones, and his raw is dehydrated so that I can take it with me. But he doesn't really like vegetables, so whenever I can sneak something into him, like I had some squash soup this week and I let him lick the bowl because he doesn't really like vegetables and he needs them like all of us. So what can your dog eat from your Thanksgiving table? Well, we all know dogs can't have onions and grapes. Those are easy. So that means no raisins if people put raisins in their stuffing. But one of the things my sister mentioned that I was not as aware of, I knew it wasn't great, but a lot of your typical turkeys that you buy in the grocery store, the brand name ones like the Butterballs and ones from the bigger companies, those turkeys have been injected with all kinds of chemicals and hormones to make their breasts bigger and to keep them juicy in the oven so that you don't have a turkey cooking disaster. And those chemicals may be okay for you, but they can really wreak havoc on a 10-pound, 20-pound dog and even a 60-pound dog. So as much as it seems okay to share the turkey with your dog, really try not to do it. And especially, when I was a kid, we used to give the dog all of the skin and all, the icky stuff. Don't give that to your dog. It's a recipe for pancreatitis. You will be in the emergency room the next day. Your dog will have vomiting and diarrhea. You've got guests from out of town. You don't want to be in the emergency room with your dog. And sometimes it can be severe because the number of things on the Thanksgiving table that your dog can't eat is gigantic. What seems safe isn't really. So really don't give your dog the turkey unless it's a farm-raised, free-run turkey that you happen to have access to. And I know lots of us don't eat those kinds of turkeys at Thanksgiving, which is fine for us, but not for your dogs. So avoid giving the turkey to your dog unless it is a free-range, farm-raised, not commercial turkey. So the next thing is, and no turkey skin and no turkey grease and gravy loaded with fats. Dogs don't process fats very well. That's why they get pancreatitis. So as much as your dog might enjoy the taste of the gravy on his food, it's really not good for him. So do not give him gravy. Stuffing or dressing, depending on what part of the country you're in. People put all kinds of stuff in there. They put the organ meat in there. That's not so bad for your dog. But they also put melted butter in there sometimes. Butter, very bad for your dog. Again, pancreatitis, high fat, dogs can't process it. Same for your cat. And then many people put onions and garlic in their stuffing. Also not good for the dog. So really, there's not much going on with the stuffing that your dog can eat. Nuts, many nuts are toxic to dogs, especially macadamia nuts. You might be living in Hawaii if you're putting macadamia nuts in your stuffing. But again, dogs have a very, very small tolerance for macadamia nuts. Just 2 or 3 can really almost kill them. So do not give your dog any kind of stuffing with nuts unless you're sure that those kind of nuts are okay for your dog. Mashed potatoes seems like a good idea for your dog. Potatoes are high in carbohydrates. Carbohydrates create inflammation, which creates cancer. Potatoes on their own, not a great idea. And then what do we do with them? We put butter, cream cheese, sour cream, milk, cream, all kinds of other things in our mashed potatoes. So if your mashed potatoes are pretty much virgin mashed potatoes and they literally are just mashed potatoes with nothing else in them, your dog can have some of that up to a tiny amount. But if you're putting all that other yummy stuff in there to make it delicious for you, again, not a good idea for your dog. Their pancreas can't handle that much fat. Sweet potatoes, yams, same thing. They're loaded with maple syrup sometimes, butter, marshmallows, pineapple. All of this combines to create a high sugar content, which is really not good for our dogs and our cats. That brings us to some vegetables. Yes, your dog might enjoy a Brussels sprout as long as it's not been cooked in garlic or other onions, things like that your dog can't eat. Same with the squash. If you have any kinds of squash on your table, as we have it often in New England, if it doesn't have too much butter on it or any butter on it, yes, your dog can share it with you. But if it's loaded with butter and deliciousness for you, it's going to be too much for your dog's body to process. And again, you don't want to spend the day after Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving evening cleaning up vomit and diarrhea and running your dog to the emergency clinic and being really scared for his life, because these things can really, really harm our pets. Dessert, well, we give our dogs pumpkin when they have diarrhea, but pumpkin pie, again, cream, butter, sugar, all of which are bad for our dogs. And other pies as well, sugar, butter. A lot of people do great pie crust that's made with lard or butter. Again, sugar, not good for our dogs. So the long and short of it is, and I have a long and short right here, is that you really can't give hardly anything that you're eating in a traditional Thanksgiving dinner to your pets. So it's much better to make him a special meal with healthy foods that you have already gotten him for his main diet. If you haven't ever tried some of the dehydrated raws, you might be able to start that. And again, don't mix that with dry kibble. Make sure if you're giving any kind of raw food, dehydrated, frozen, whatever, don't mix it with kibble, because it creates a chemical situation in the stomach which can create a lot of problems and toxicity and make your dog super sick. So if you're going to introduce a raw diet, just do it at one meal a day if you're still feeding kibble. So as much as we'd love to share our meal with our dogs, the crap that we eat ourselves is not good for them. And honestly, a lot of it's not that good for us, but it's Thanksgiving and we certainly enjoy it. Right, Tristan? He says, I'm not eating any of those vegetables. And he's getting a free-range turkey. Plus, he gets turkey, organic turkey breast that I cook him every week. That's what he's going to be having in his dinner, just like always. And then I have some sad news. One of my clients, it's just been such a busy time for me. I am so sorry. I've not been able to do a Conversations with a Corgi for a week. Seems like forever. Now I'm going away and I don't know what the internet's going to be like. But one of my beloved clients, Esther, lost her beloved pony, Tulip, in the last couple of days. And it's very, very, very sad. She had had Tulip for 30 years or more. She bought her as the first pony for her children, who are now in their 30s and 20s. So she had that pony a long time, and she came in a trailer from the west, and we don't really know what happened. She seems to have gotten trampled in the trailer, being just a little Shetland. And she was also in foal when she arrived. So she delivered a little cute pony named Rosie, Rosebud, soon after she arrived at their farm. And Rosie sadly passed away several years ago, but Tulip has been hanging on, and she's a tough little pony and so cute and wonderful with the children. She was just a great first pony, and all of us that have known her have really appreciated how kind she is in teaching the children how to be with horses. And she ended up getting anaplasmosis, which is the third or fourth horse in the area that I know that has gotten anaplasmosis, which results in very high fevers in horses and also our dogs. Tristan's had it a couple of times because that's what the ticks in my area seem to have. And poor Tulip had these high fevers, and they did a lot of intervention. I went to see her a couple of times, and it was just too much for her. She was not able to keep eating, and her person was going away, and they just decided that Tulip wasn't going to make it. So it is a very sad thing, and in fact, we should do a heart hug together for Tulip, the adorable Shetland pony. She was sort of chestnut color with a big white blaze and a big fluffy mane. And she gave so much to the people that knew her. So that's been a little sad part of the many days I haven't seen you. And I had a great time at the Equus Film Festival. Sadly, I did not win a Winnie Award. I really wanted my book to win a Winnie Award, but you know, it was a really good time, and I met some wonderful people there, and I'm hoping to do some T-Touch and craniosacral clinics in Tennessee and in North Carolina in the coming year, and I have some excellent contacts in those areas now. So look forward to the new year, where we'll be offering many more opportunities to learn the wonderful T-touch and cranial work for your pets and your horses. So thanks for joining us today. Have a great Thanksgiving. Don't share all that bad stuff you're eating with your pets. Just stick to their regular treats, which reminds me I should bring some of his beloved duck treats with me. When we were doing the photographs for the treat parade on my cards, we had to put the treats out, and I used every kind of treat I had in the house to make it interesting. And he went right for that duck treat. Boy, he really loves those dehydrated duck treats. They're like styrofoam, but they're just dehydrated. You can just squish them right down, and they're so stinky. As a vegetarian, I can hardly bear to be in the house with them when the bag's open. But this young man loves his duck, and will do whatever he wants to give him his duck. So, thanks for joining us today. I hope to be back tomorrow and Friday and Saturday as well. I'm coming back here on Saturday, and we'll be back to our regular schedule by then. So everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining us today. And hopefully we will have many more things to offer you in the coming days. I have a whole list of things to talk about, and I hope to talk to you then about them. So thanks for joining us today. We'll see you soon. Tristan and I are about to finish packing up our food. I am a vegetarian that I have to bring to New Jersey, and then we're going to be on the road for Thanksgiving. Everybody have safe travels, safe driving, safe flying, uncrowded roads, safe pets in the car, and no visits to the emergency room tomorrow or the next day. Thanks for joining us. Have a great holiday.